Yeah,
So,
I was going to ask because you both got into broadcast at different times,
Yeah.
but I wanted to know if you felt there was a similarity in your experience in the industry, or if you felt like actually 20 or 20 years apart. No, so it would have been 15
yes.
years apart, maybe that you were.
Yes. Mum was on TV when I was a child, but only sort of sporadically,
Yeah.
which was kind of how it was for a dark black woman on screen at that
There
time.
weren't
People were,
there weren't jobs for me really. I mean, and I look at people like Fluella Benjamin, who she's like she's a mentor and a hero to me completely. Without somebody like Fluella, God knows what she went through. I mean, she's told me the tips of the iceberg, but what she had to endure just to be herself and to create that incredible path that she created is quite extraordinary. You look at someone like Moira Stewart, who read the news, absolutely incredible. But for me, I was constantly being put up for jobs, and then I'd see somebody, and I mean this with all the love in my heart, but somebody, definitely less able than me, get the job again and again and again. I know that I'm good at the work that I do, and I've always been good at it. I'm naturally good at it, and I really, really enjoy it. So I just got fed up of it and kind of walked away, because it's like constantly being undervalued by an industry. You just think, you know what? I'm just going to do something else that makes me feel good, because that's kind of what I've always done in my life, is do the things that make me feel good, and that gets me to where I need to be. So I decided quite kind of it wasn't even a conscious thing, like, I'm not going to do something. I just started doing other stuff, because life is too short to sit around and wait for other people to give you, life is too short to sit around and wait for other people to give you permission to live and to be your brilliant self and to find your power. So that's not something I've ever been prepared to do then or now, frankly. I'm just not going to do it. So it was different between Miquita, but then, Miquita had her own difficulties and problems. And to be honest with you, it has shifted now, but there is still sometimes a little bit like, well, we've already got a black person, we've already got a gay person, we've already got, you know what I mean? There is a bit of a one in, one out vibe a lot of the time, which is, a bit pathetic. It's much better now, but there's still work to do,
Bloody hell, yeah. Actually, I think, Kelly, from my experience, it was more that as because I'm my mother's daughter, bloody good at my job, and it was a skill I just had within me that I didn't realise until I was put on set. I didn't go to a stage school. I didn't talk about TV presenting. I just went on this audition and I just knew how to do it. But as I got more and more well known and more the years went on, the press were awful to me, and really would bring up any little mistake that I made in a way that they wouldn't of my peers. I felt dragged quite often by the press, especially when Lily became famous and we were out a lot together. And I just think they found it difficult that we were successful and young and good at our jobs and working really hard. So they just,
and
I did feel...
And with opinions, they were like young women with opinions. And, the stuff that the press threw at Miquita and at Lily, they would never have done to young guys in the same situation.
Of course not, though.
They were like, she's Bobby. It's like, did you ever say that about any of the young dudes
Liam Gallagher.
Pop stars? Liam Gallagher. They'd be like, oh, what a dude, he's so funny.
He's so funny.
All he had to do was say, funny. I disagree with you, to be called all sorts of bitch, So it's a difficult world for young people to be on TV or or a pop star, or to be any of those things so visibly, even though it's fun and it's glamorous and there are all those sides to it, but it's also very challenging, and it makes you very vulnerable, because you're open to other people's opinions, other people's pressure. And Miquita and Lily, I think they dealt with it well on some levels, and on other levels they kind of both, the more they kind of became sort of crumbled in on themselves, the more the press, because they're like bullies, do you know what I mean? So it's like, if they see you responding, then they go for the jugular. So it was very difficult for both of them. I'm very proud, I want to say this now, of both Miquita and Lily, because they are exceptional young women. They always have been. They managed to traverse a world that kept telling them to sit down and shut up and get back in their box. And neither of them have ever shut up, sat back down, or got back in their box.
No.
And I am so proud of them. Me and Lily's mum, Alison, are like, yeah, those are girls right there.
Yeah.